Thank you all for gathering here today to help us celebrate something that's really kind of been a long time coming. We are finally pleased to be back in the renovated headquarters building for the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation. Of course, original built in 1966. Before that, the Department of Wildlife was housed in the basement of the Capitol since its creation in 1909. So we have a long history with this state, of course, and we're very pleased to have you here to celebrate that with us today. I'll make some additional remarks and thank yous and that sort of thing before we close, but I do want to thank those of you that attended. I see several of our friends here from the legislature, and so if you would just kind of wave your hand, I'll leave somebody out if I try to introduce them, but we're very pleased to have you all here. I know we're looking forward to working with our new Wildlife Committee chair here, Representative McDougal, and Senator Duggars, our Appropriations Subcommittee chair, and Representative Fettgatter, who was vice chair of Wildlife Committee last year as well. And I said I wasn't going to introduce anybody, so I don't leave anybody out, but I probably just did. So if I left somebody out, I hope you're not in charge of any of our committees, and I apologize for that. So we also have our commissioners up here as well. I'm going to turn it over here very quickly to our chairman of our commission, John Grondike, here in a second. But most importantly, if you're a hunter or angler in the state of Oklahoma, raise your hands right now. This is all for you. You paid for this. You built this thing. So this is all a tribute to you. And before we leave here today, if we haven't made that abundantly clear, we definitely want to make sure you understand that everybody understands that as well. So before I step on all the remarks he wants to make, I'm going to turn it over to the chairman of our commission, John Grondike, who, by the way, is celebrating his 43rd year on the Wildlife Commission, which is a record. So,
well, thank you very much, J.D. It's been a great honor to serve for 43 years. It's kind of interesting how I got here. David Bourne was the governor at that time, and I'd gone to law school with him. And he called and he said, John, I'd like to put you on the Pardon and Parole Board. And I said, Governor, what did I do to make you so mad at me that you wanted to do that? And that probably wouldn't be down my line. He said, well, what about the Wildlife Department? I said, that's something I would enjoy doing and hopefully be able to be of some benefit. So I said, great, I'd do it. So 43 years later, I'm still here, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate the grand opening of the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife new office building here. As most of you, or some of you know, a lot of the building is part of the original building that was built 40 years ago. Gutted it, completely remodeled it, and doubled the floor space. And I think it'll provide us a great home for the next 40 years, hopefully. Been very happy. I'd like to give special thanks to the people that helped on this project. Don and Paula Beck with Beck Design, and CMS Willoughby, who was the contract managers. Beck Design was the architects on it, and great partners to work with. A lot of the commissioners and employees worked on a lot of areas with them, and we're all excited and very pleased with the end result. You know, the Wildlife Department is a constitutional agency, does not receive funds through the appropriations from the legislature and all, and I'm very pleased to say that the department was able to do this renovation and addition without taking on any debt and without using any taxpayers' dollars. All came from sale of hunting and fishing licenses and federal Dingell Johnson, Pittman Robinson funds. So to the sportsmen of Oklahoma, what was that? Yeah, Commissioner Gaddis, come up and join us, please. No problem. No problem. Like I say, we're very, very pleased and very proud of this facility and all. And as a lot of you know, we don't get any state funds from the legislature. One of the interesting things here, of the 38 subcontractors that worked on this project, only one subcontractor, Oklahoma business that was in Oklahoma City or the surrounding area. So we were pleased to bring that about and all. It believes that the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife fosters a hunting and fishing industry that annually generates over $140 million in state and local taxes on an annual basis. And Overall, 1 in 4 Oklahomans is involved in some type of outdoor activity of hunting and fishing, and of that, that generates about $821 million in retail sales from fishing alone. So it does a lot to support tourism and does a lot to support and fishermen from surrounding states, but also the residents here in the state of Oklahoma. As all of you know, Oklahoma is over 95% privately owned, and not state or federal lands involved in this and all. So I've been very pleased to be a part of that, and I know the commissioners have been very involved in this project, and I think we've been blessed with a great commission, and look forward to the future success of this department. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Chairman Grondike. Specifically, the building was funded off the investment proceeds off lifetime license sales in particular, if I remember correctly. So maybe a few other license dollars sprinkled in there. So when we say that this is the house the hunters and anglers built, this truly is the house the hunters and anglers built. So, so we want to thank you for that. I want to turn it over next to our newly minted Lieutenant Governor, just inaugurated this morning, Matt Pannell, and we certainly want to thank you for taking time out of what was a crazy busy schedule today to come down here and join us for this celebration. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you all. And a round of applause for these commissioners and JD and the man, the myth, the legend, John Grondike, because I know we built it. You're right, from no taxpayer dollars, but you all had the vision for it. So you all deserve a round of applause for making this all happen. So thank you all so much. Listen, I'm just here to tell you we're about to take it up a notch when it comes to hunting and fishing and the wildlife in the state of Oklahoma. It is economic development. Tourism is economic development. Can I get an amen? It is. As John said, you heard those numbers. The economic development impact that our hunting and wildlife have in this state. From an international perspective, as well as from people all across the other 49 states coming to Oklahoma. We have got to do a better job of telling that story. As Lieutenant Governor, I'm chairman of the Tourism Commission, but I will also be announced, and JD, I didn't tell you this, but some breaking news here. I'll do it right here in your building. I will be named the new Secretary of Tourism next week. So that's right. Don't tweet that out. Don't tweet that out, JD. But we are decoupling. For the past 8 years, and actually even before that, it was the Secretary of Commerce and Tourism. We believed, Governor Stitt and I, we believed that we needed a standalone Secretary of Tourism in the state of Oklahoma again. Because of the impact that they have and this industry has, third largest industry in the state, our tourism is. We generate about $650 million in state and local tax revenue off tourism. It should be $1 billion state. Oklahoma should be $1 billion state, and we should have a fishing trail, which JD and I are talking about. You'll see news about that. Don't tweet that out either, by the way. Don't tweet that out either. But I can't look forward. I can't tell you enough how much I'm looking forward to working with this team right here, crisscrossing our 77 counties, because it is 77 counties. I want you to hear that from me. The governor and myself, we are well aware that it's not just 2 counties, but there's 77 counties in the state. And when we promote it in a way where we have people from all across the state and all across this world dropping sales tax dollars across those 77 counties, it means a lot, a whole lot. And so it's going to be 77 county strong operation the next 4 years. And we are so looking forward to getting started. So thank you all so much for your time. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Very energetic guy. So we're looking forward to working with Governor Pannell as we move forward and talk about the economic development benefits of fish and wildlife in the state of Oklahoma. In fact, a old survey that needs to be updated, we're hoping it's updated soon, shows that we approach nearly $2 billion worth of economic development in this state just off hunting and fishing and the economic engine that provides alone. So especially in the rural areas of Oklahoma, and the folks that are here from those rural areas know that the public lands that we have scattered across the state that provide that hunting and fishing opportunity for everyone are a huge boon. You go out to Beaver, Oklahoma, and ask them what the busiest time of year for their hotels and restaurants is, it is hunting season out in Beaver County, especially quail and pheasant season. So that story rings true throughout the state of Oklahoma. So before we drag out a ribbon and an extra giant pair of scissors to cut the ribbon on this place, just want to thank everybody again, the Beck Design, CMS Willowbrook, our building contractor, all of our commissioners that were so faithful throughout this project, particularly Commissioner Gaddis, who was in charge of the building committee that worked very diligently all along the way, as well as a donation of really large rocks as you look outside from her ranch in southeast Oklahoma. Flying overhead are some mounts donated by the Brewsters, I should point out as well. We just had all sorts of time and effort and contribution from our commissioners that we definitely don't want to forget that. You may have read the news article that ran in yesterday's newspaper about the Stewart sisters that donated over $500,000 back to the agency that they worked for because they loved the Department of Wildlife so much. That was before my time, so I can't take any credit for how much they loved the agency back then. But they loved the agency so much, they donated over $500,000, which essentially almost paid for what you see out here in this fantastic lobby exhibit. We had a lot of other great contributors as well from Bass Pro Shops and a number of others that helped put this on. I do want to point out our Assistant Director, Wade Free, who spent hours over here working with the contractor. The one and only subcontractor that wasn't from Oklahoma was the subcontractor that worked on this, because they do Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's lobbies, and they're based out of Wisconsin. So that's the one exception to the rule. But Wade spent countless hours, especially over in here, making sure everything looked like it was really from Oklahoma and not from Japan, which we were a little bit worried might be the case at first, but it all turned out great, including making sure you get up there to the license desk, which looks like a duck blind and that sort of thing. Certainly want to recognize Assistant Director Melinda Strike for all the work she did behind the scenes, keeping the building project on track, on budget, on schedule, that sort of thing from our perspective. So thank you for all your diligent work on that. I'm going to check my notes to make sure I didn't leave anybody else out, and I don't think I did. So let me just wrap up by saying, as amazing as this building is, we wanted to make it a showcase in the Capitol complex, drag those school bus loads of kids that go visit the Capitol all the time down here, get them excited about Oklahoma's great outdoors, get them excited about hunting and angling, because we don't have wildlife conservation in the state of Oklahoma without hunting and fishing and people buying those licenses. Nobody else pays for that. And so it's critically important that we keep selling those licenses. This was meant to be a draw. It is also meant to be a meeting space for our sportsmen. And so we want to make sure that your organizations are welcome to come and use this meeting space. Just give us a buzz and we'll try to get that organized and coordinated. Don't forget that. One group I did just about leave out, and I saw Jim, and that reminded me. So we have a newly formed Oklahoma Wildlife Conservation Foundation as well to help us attract more money and raise new dollars to be able to do some things. So Jim's over there. Wave your hand. Any other of our foundation members that are in the crowd? There we go. Gene back there. And several of our commissioners are on that as well. So we thank the foundation members. Another foundation member we were very pleased to sign up, Blake Shelton. You may have heard of him. So we're hoping he's going to do great things for us to be able to raise more money as well. And so as the director of the agency, I just want to close by saying, as great as this building is, the real heart of the agency is the 350 employees that we have scattered across this state from Keys, Oklahoma, down south to all the way south of Idabel and points in between. And whether they're out there providing law enforcement to keep your hunt safe and to keep our animals safe, or whether they're selling licenses up here, which if you hadn't heard about the rollout of our new app and licensing system, that occurred a week from Monday, and our licensing folks have been really hopping as a result of getting that new system online. So GoOutdoorsOklahoma.com, I believe, is the new place for you to go do that, but you can go to our website and do it as well. So I want to just personally thank the 350 employees that are passionate, dedicated, truly I think, the best family in state government for all that they do. So thank you, employees, staff of the ODWC. If you would raise your hands as well, because I know you're scattered throughout. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I was just told that we had several other legislators migrate in, including Senator Murdoch, who is our wildlife chair on the Senate side of things, Representative McDougal's companion on the other side of the aisle. So thank you for being here as well, and any others that are here. Those that raised their hand are happy to be your tour guide from here on out. So there was a method to my madness. So let me just say thank you all again, and especially to the hunters and anglers of Oklahoma, because without you, we couldn't do what we do every day. We couldn't have some of the best hunting and angling opportunity in all of the United States without you, and we certainly could not have built this building for the next 40 to 50 years of employment for the Department of Wildlife without you. So thank you. We're going to roll out a ribbon and some big scissors, take some pictures, and then feed cake. It's all informal from here on out. Hopefully you'll take some time. We've got doors wide open. Make yourself at home. Grab one of our staff if you would like a tour. There's snacks over there.